Imagine a world without voices traveling across wires. Born in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1847, Alexander Graham Bell grew up surrounded by the melody of the spoken word. The year was 1876. Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you. Section 5, a legacy etched in history. Section 1, the seed of curiosity. Section 2, a family legacy. In 1870, seeking a healthier climate for Alex's ailing brother, the Bell family made the momentous decision to leave their beloved Scotland behind and embark on a new chapter in their lives across the Atlantic. In 1871, Alexander Graham Bell's journey took him to Boston, Massachusetts, a city pulsing with intellectual energy and at the forefront of scientific exploration. Boston in the 1870s was a crucible of innovation, a place where brilliant minds converged, drawn by the allure of scientific discovery and the promise of technological advancement. The city thrummed with the energy of progress, its streets abuzz with horse-drawn carriages, and its workshops alive with the clatter of tools and the murmur of ideas taking shape. For Alexander Graham Bell, newly arrived from Canada, Boston was both a source of inspiration and a springboard for his own ambitions. The city's vibrant intellectual atmosphere, fueled by institutions like Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, provided fertile ground for his own scientific pursuits. He immersed himself in the city's scientific community, attending lectures, engaging in lively debates, and seeking out collaborations with other like-minded individuals. Bell's work with the deaf, particularly his use of visible speech and his exploration of acoustic telegraphy, piqued the interest of Boston's elite, including Gardner Greene Hubbard, a prominent lawyer and philanthropist with a keen interest in technological advancements. Hubbard, whose daughter Mabel was one of Bell's students, recognized the young inventor's brilliance and became his patron, providing financial support for his research and access to a network of influential contacts. With Hubbard's backing, Bell established a workshop in the attic of Hubbard's residence at 109 Court Street in Boston. This modest space, cluttered with wires, batteries, magnets, and an array of experimental apparatus, would become the birthplace of one of history's most transformative inventions, a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the profound impact that a single idea can have on the world. The air in Bell's workshop crackled with more than just the energy of innovation. It hummed with the invisible force of electricity, the driving force behind the technological revolution sweeping the globe. The telegraph, with its ability to transmit messages over long distances using electrical impulses, had already demonstrated the transformative power of this mysterious force, and Bell was determined to harness its potential to transmit not just dots and dashes, but the very nuances of the human voice. Bell immersed himself in the study of electricity, devouring books and scientific journals, attending lectures by leading experts, and relentlessly experimenting with batteries, wires, and electromagnetic coils. He was captivated by the work of Michael Faraday, whose discoveries in electromagnetic induction had paved the way for the development of the electric motor and generator, and he drew inspiration from the pioneering work of Samuel Morse, the inventor of the telegraph. Bell understood that the key to transmitting sound over wires lay in finding a way to convert the mechanical vibrations of sound waves into corresponding electrical signals, and vice versa. He experimented with a variety of approaches, using vibrating diaphragms, magnets, and electrical currents to create a system that could capture the subtle variations in air pressure produced by the human voice and transform them into a form that could be sent along a wire and then reconverted back into audible sound at the receiving end. His workshop became a symphony of electricity, a place where the hiss and crackle of electrical discharges mingled with the clinking of tools and the murmur of Bell's voice as he meticulously documented his experiments, his mind ablaze with the possibilities that lay ahead. Alexander Graham Bell was not alone in his quest to transmit the human voice over wires. The allure of this seemingly impossible feat had captivated inventors and scientists across the globe, igniting a fierce competition to be the first to unlock the secrets of sound transmission. The stakes were high, for the victor would not only claim scientific glory, but also potentially reap immense financial rewards and forever alter the course of human communication. Among Bell's most formidable rivals was Elisha Gray, a prolific American inventor who had already made significant contributions to the field of telegraphy. Gray, like Bell, was captivated by the idea of transmitting speech over wires, and he had independently developed his own design for a device he called the harmonic telegraph, which used vibrating reeds tuned to different frequencies to transmit musical tones. Another contender in this race for technological supremacy was Antonio Meucci, an Italian immigrant who had been experimenting with electrical transmission of sound for several years. Meucci claimed to have created a working telephone as early as 1849, but his lack of financial resources and his limited English proficiency hindered his ability to patent and promote his invention effectively. This competition, while fierce, also fostered an atmosphere of collaboration and cross-pollination of ideas. Inventors shared their findings through scientific journals and presentations, and they often drew inspiration from each other's work, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and accelerating the pace of innovation. Bell, while driven by his own ambition, recognized the value of this exchange of ideas, and he remained acutely aware of the progress of his rivals, their successes fueling his own determination to be the first to achieve the dream of transmitting the human voice. In the tapestry of innovation, chance encounters often weave unexpected threads, connecting individuals whose shared passions ignite breakthroughs that reshape the world. Such was the case with Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson, a skilled electrician and mechanic whose partnership would prove instrumental in the invention of the telephone. Their paths crossed in the spring of 1874, in the bustling workshop of Charles Williams, Jr., a Boston instrument maker known for his craftsmanship and his willingness to take on unusual projects. Bell, deeply immersed in his experiments with acoustic telegraphy, sought out Williams's expertise in constructing delicate electrical instruments. Watson, a recent graduate of the Boston Technical College, had just joined Williams' workshop, eager to apply his skills to the challenges of cutting-edge invention. Their initial encounter was brief, a matter of introductions and a shared understanding of the project at hand, but it marked the beginning of a collaboration that would change history. Watson, with his meticulous attention to detail and his knack for bringing Bell's concepts to life in the form of functioning prototypes, quickly became an indispensable member of the team. He shared Bell's passion for innovation, his unwavering belief that the seemingly impossible could be achieved through relentless experimentation and a willingness to challenge conventional thinking. Long hours were spent huddled over workbenches, soldering wires, adjusting delicate mechanisms, and testing, always testing, each success and setback fueling their shared determination. As their collaboration deepened, a profound respect and friendship blossomed between the two men. Bell, with his infectious enthusiasm and his ability to articulate his vision with clarity and conviction, inspired Watson to push the boundaries of his own abilities. Watson, in turn, provided Bell with the technical expertise and unwavering support he needed to navigate the complexities of bringing his groundbreaking invention to life. Nestled amidst the bustling streets of Boston, Alexander Graham Bell's workshop at 109 Court Street became a sanctuary of innovation, where wires hummed with the promise of distant voices and the impossible seemed within reach. Bell and his assistant Thomas Watson toiled tirelessly, driven by a shared passion to redefine human communication. The path to inventing the telephone was not a linear progression, but rather a winding road paved with countless hours of trial and error, moments of exhilarating progress, punctuated by frustrating setbacks. Bell and Watson approached each challenge with a combination of meticulous planning and a willingness to embrace the unexpected, to learn from their mistakes and to refine their approach with each iteration. They experimented with a variety of materials and configurations, testing different types of diaphragms, magnets and electrical circuits, their workshop echoing with a symphony of clicks, buzzes, and static. Notebooks filled with sketches, diagrams, and equations, each page a testament to their relentless pursuit of a solution. They faced skepticism from some quarters who dismissed their efforts as futile, a pursuit of a pipe dream. But Bell and Watson remained undeterred, their belief in their vision unwavering. Gradually, through this iterative process of experimentation and refinement, they began to make progress. They discovered that by varying the intensity of the electrical current flowing through the wire, they could alter the strength of the magnetic field, which in turn affected the vibrations of the diaphragm at the receiving end. They learned to control the frequency of these vibrations, producing different tones and pitches, their workshop coming alive with the rudimentary sounds of a new language being spoken through wires. Each small victory, each incremental step forward fueled their determination. They celebrated their successes with a shared sense of accomplishment, knowing that each hurdle overcome brought them one step closer to their ultimate goal, to transmit the human voice in all its richness and nuance across the vast chasm of distance. The year 1876 dawned with a sense of anticipation in Alexander Graham Bell's workshop. After years of relentless experimentation, countless setbacks, and moments of both exhilarating progress and frustrating stagnation, Bell and his assistant, Thomas Watson, sensed that they were on the cusp of a breakthrough. They had refined their design, honing the delicate interplay of diaphragm, magnet, and electrical current, their understanding of the science of sound transmission deepening with each passing experiment. On March 10th, as a cold wind whipped through the streets of Boston, Bell and Watson huddled in their workshop, their excitement palpable. Bell, his voice hoarse from countless hours of testing, spoke into the mouthpiece of their latest prototype, his words imbued with a mixture of hope and trepidation. "Mr. Watson," he uttered, his voice barely a whisper, "come here. I want to see you." In the adjacent room, where he had been diligently monitoring the receiving apparatus, Thomas Watson's heart skipped a beat. His ear, pressed against the receiver, twitched as a faint sound, barely audible above the hum of the electrical current, reached him. At first, it was just a garbled whisper, a ghostly echo of a voice from afar. But as he strained to listen, the words, faint yet unmistakable, resolved themselves into a coherent sentence. Bell's voice, transmitted through the wire, had reached him. A surge of adrenaline shot through Watson's body as he stumbled back from the table, his eyes wide with astonishment. He had heard Bell's voice not through the air but through the miracle of electrical transmission. Rushing into the room where Bell stood, his face a mixture of disbelief and elation, Watson exclaimed, "Mr. Bell, I heard you! I heard every word!" "Mr. Watson, come here." The words, seemingly mundane in their simplicity, echoed through the workshop, imbued with a significance that belied their literal meaning. "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." In that instant, on that cold March day in 1876, the impossible became reality. The human voice, for the first time in history, had been transmitted over a wire, bridging the gap between two rooms, defying the limitations of distance. The air crackled with the weight of the moment as Bell and Watson stared at each other, their faces a mixture of disbelief and exhilaration. They had done it. They had achieved what many had deemed impossible. The telephone, a dream that had taken root in Bell's imagination years earlier, nurtured by his family's legacy and his own unwavering belief, was no longer a figment of the future, but a tangible reality. That first phone call lasted a mere 20 seconds, but in those fleeting moments, a new era of communication dawned. The world, once bound by the constraints of physical proximity, was about to shrink, brought closer by the power of the human voice. The implications were profound, touching every aspect of life, from business and commerce to personal relationships and global connectivity. Bell and Watson, still reeling from the magnitude of their achievement, repeated their experiment, their voices gaining strength and clarity with each successful transmission. The air buzzed with excitement as they realized the true potential of their invention, a potential that extended far beyond the confines of their small workshop. The significance of that first telephone call transcended the boundaries of the workshop, etching itself into the annals of history as a pivotal moment in human ingenuity. It was a testament to the power of perseverance, the unwavering belief in an idea, and the transformative potential of collaboration. News of the invention spread like wildfire, carried on the very waves of excitement it had unleashed. Newspapers heralded the arrival of the electric-speaking telephone, marveling at its ability to transmit the human voice over long distances. Scientists and inventors marveled at the simplicity and elegance of Bell's solution, while the public eagerly awaited the day when they too could experience the magic of speaking to someone miles away. The first telephone call, a testament to the power of human ingenuity, became a symbol of progress, a beacon of hope in a world on the cusp of technological revolution. It ignited the imaginations of dreamers and visionaries, inspiring a new generation of inventors and entrepreneurs to explore the boundless possibilities of communication technology. But beyond its technological significance, that first phone call represented a profound shift in human connection. It held the promise of bridging distances, of shrinking the world, and of bringing people closer together through the power of the human voice. It was a reminder that even in a world increasingly dominated by technology, the most fundamental human need, the need to connect, remained paramount. The successful transmission of the human voice over a wire was not merely a technological triumph, it was the dawn of a new era, an era defined by the ability to communicate instantaneously across vast distances. The world, once fragmented by the limitations of physical proximity, was about to embark on a journey of unprecedented interconnectedness, a journey fueled by the power of the telephone. The telephone's impact was immediate and far-reaching. Within a few short years of its invention, telephone lines began to crisscross cities, then states, and eventually continents. The familiar ring of the telephone became a ubiquitous sound, a harbinger of news, both joyous and sorrowful, and a conduit for business transactions, personal conversations, and the sharing of ideas. The telephone revolutionized business, breaking down geographical barriers, and enabling companies to expand their reach, coordinate operations more efficiently, and respond to customer needs with greater speed and agility. It transformed personal relationships, allowing families and friends to stay connected across the miles, their voices bridging the gaps created by distance and circumstance. The telephone became an indispensable tool for emergency services, enabling rapid response to accidents, natural disasters, and other crises. It provided a voice to the marginalized, empowering individuals and communities to share their stories, advocate for their rights, and participate more fully in society. The world had entered the age of telephony, an age of unprecedented connectivity, an age where the human voice, once confined by the limitations of time and space, could now reach out and touch lives across the globe. The news of Alexander Graham Bell's invention spread through the bustling streets of Boston like wildfire, igniting a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. Whispers of the electric-speaking telephone could be heard in crowded saloons and elegant drawing rooms, each recounting of the tale adding a new layer of intrigue. The very notion of the human voice traveling along wires, defying the limitations of distance, seemed both fantastical and vaguely unsettling. Newspaper articles, adorned with fanciful illustrations of Bell's contraption, attempted to explain the science behind the invention, their words often struggling to keep pace with the rapid evolution of the technology. Scientific journals, their pages typically reserved for dry dissertations, buzzed with excitement, hailing the telephone as a revolutionary breakthrough with the potential to reshape the world. Demonstrations of the telephone became public spectacles, drawing crowds eager to witness the marvel firsthand. Bell, thrust into the unexpected role of showman, found himself captivating audiences with his contagious enthusiasm and his patient explanations of the science behind his invention. Yet, for all the excitement, a sense of skepticism lingered. Could this truly be the future of communication? Or was it merely a novelty, destined to fade into obscurity? The answer, as history would soon reveal, was far more profound than anyone could have imagined. The telephone was not merely a technological marvel. It was a catalyst for societal change, a force that would reshape the fabric of human interaction, shrink the world, and usher in a new era of global connectivity. The Centennial International Exhibition of 1876, held in Philadelphia, provided an unparalleled stage for Alexander Graham Bell to unveil his invention to the world. The exhibition, a celebration of American ingenuity and progress, drew millions of visitors from across the globe, eager to witness the latest marvels of science and technology. Amongst the steam engines, textile looms, and agricultural implements, Bell's telephone stood apart, its unassuming appearance belying its revolutionary potential. Tucked away in a dimly lit corner of the exhibition hall, Bell's telephone initially struggled to compete with the cacophony of sound and the visual spectacle of the surrounding exhibits. Then, fate intervened. On a sweltering Sunday afternoon in June, as Bell prepared to pack up his equipment, a distinguished figure approached his booth. It was none other than Dom Pedro II, Emperor of Brazil, a renowned patron of the arts and sciences. Intrigued by the whispers surrounding Bell's invention, Dom Pedro had requested a private demonstration. As Bell handed him the receiver, the emperor's eyes widened in astonishment. "My God, it talks!" he exclaimed, his voice echoing through the exhibition hall, instantly transforming the telephone from an obscure curiosity into the undisputed star of the show. Dom Pedro's enthusiastic endorsement sent a ripple effect through the exhibition, and soon, a constant stream of dignitaries, scientists, and curious onlookers flocked to Bell's booth. Newspapers across the globe trumpeted the arrival of the electric wonder, and the telephone became the talk of the nation, its future now inextricably linked to the promise of progress and innovation that the Centennial Exhibition represented. In the early days of the telephone, the act of making a call was a far cry from the seamless experience we take for granted today. The absence of a sophisticated switching system meant that each telephone was directly connected to only a limited number of other telephones, creating a logistical nightmare as the network began to expand. The elegant solution to this challenge emerged from an unexpected source: the quick wit and organizational skills of young women. The first telephone operators were primarily young boys, chosen for their agility in navigating the complex web of wires and their ability to handle the constant demands of early subscribers. However, their boisterous nature and penchant for pranks proved ill-suited to the demands of this new profession, which required patience, a calm demeanor, and a clear-speaking voice. Enter the Hello Girls, as they came to be known, a cadre of women who would shape the early days of the telephone industry with their efficiency, professionalism, and grace under pressure. Initially recruited to provide a more refined voice to the telephone exchange, these women quickly proved their mettle, mastering the intricate switchboards, deftly connecting calls, and providing a reassuring human touch to this new and often intimidating technology. The rise of the telephone operator was a social phenomenon, as much as a technological one. It provided women with new opportunities for employment and advancement at a time when their options were often limited. These women became pioneers in a male-dominated field, their skills and dedication paving the way for greater gender equality in the workplace. The telephone's impact on the world of business was swift and transformative. No longer constrained by the limitations of the telegraph or the delays of the postal service, businesses embrace this new technology as a tool to streamline operations, expand their reach, and gain a competitive edge. Orders could be placed and confirmed in real time, eliminating the uncertainty and potential for errors inherent in written correspondence. Negotiations could be conducted with a speed and immediacy that facilitated decision-making and fostered collaboration across geographical boundaries. The telephone became an indispensable tool for managing supply chains, coordinating logistics, and responding to customer needs with unprecedented agility. Beyond its impact on individual businesses, the telephone facilitated the growth of entire industries. Financial markets, heavily reliant on the rapid dissemination of information, underwent a profound transformation as the telephone enabled real-time trading and the instant transmission of market data. News organizations leveraged the telephone's speed to gather and disseminate breaking news with an immediacy that transformed the media landscape. The telephone's impact on business extended far beyond the boardroom. Small businesses, from corner stores to local artisans, found new ways to connect with customers, manage inventory, and compete with larger enterprises. The telephone empowered entrepreneurs, fostered innovation, and fueled economic growth on a scale that few could have anticipated. As the 19th century drew to a close, the telephone began to weave its way into the fabric of everyday life, its presence transforming homes, businesses, and communities across the globe. No longer a mere novelty or a luxury reserved for the elite, the telephone was becoming an increasingly familiar sight, its presence marked by the distinctive ring that pierced the silence of parlors and offices alike. The installation of telephone lines became a common sight in cities and towns, as wooden poles, strung with a web of wires, sprung up along streets and avenues. Electricians, once a rare breed, found themselves in high demand, their expertise sought after to connect homes and businesses to this burgeoning network. The telephone, once a solitary instrument, was beginning to find its voice in a chorus of connections. Telephone directories, initially slim volumes listing a handful of subscribers, grew into weighty tomes, their pages a testament to the telephone's expanding reach. The act of looking up a number, memorizing 7 digits, and carefully placing a call became a ritual of modern life, a tangible reminder of the invisible connections that now bound people together. The telephone's impact extended beyond the realm of communication. It began to influence architecture, with homes and offices redesigned to accommodate this new fixture. Furniture makers incorporated telephone stands and compartments into their designs, acknowledging the telephone's permanent place in the domestic sphere. The telephone, once an outsider, had found its way into the heart of the home, its ring a familiar soundtrack to the rhythms of daily life. The telephone's journey from a technological marvel to an indispensable tool of modern life was remarkably swift. What began as a luxury item, a status symbol gracing the homes and offices of the wealthy and tech-savvy, gradually transitioned into a necessity, its absence increasingly conspicuous in a world where instant communication was becoming the norm. This shift was driven by a confluence of factors: the declining cost of telephone equipment and service, the result of technological advancements and increased competition, made the telephone accessible to a wider segment of the population. The expanding telephone network, with its ever-growing reach into homes and businesses, created a sense of urgency, a fear of being left behind in a world where instant communication was becoming essential for both work and personal life. The telephone's impact on social dynamics was profound. For the first time in history, distance was no longer an insurmountable barrier to maintaining close relationships with family and friends. Grandparents could hear the voices of their grandchildren, miles away, sharing in their laughter and milestones. Friends separated by circumstance could maintain a sense of closeness, their voices bridging the gaps created by time and distance. The telephone also played a pivotal role in emergencies, enabling rapid communication with doctors, police, and fire departments. Stories of lives saved and disasters averted thanks to the timely intervention made possible by the telephone became part of the telephone's lore, solidifying its reputation as not just a convenience, but a potential lifesaver. The true power of the telephone lay not in the individual device itself, but in the vast and intricate network that connected these instruments, weaving a complex tapestry of human voices across cities, nations, and continents. The telephone line, once a novelty, became a lifeline, a conduit for news, ideas, emotions, and the shared experiences that define the human experience. The construction of telephone exchanges, those bustling hubs where operators meticulously connected calls, became a symbol of progress, a testament to the telephone's ability to bridge distances and bring people closer together. The hum of voices, the click of switches, and the constant ringing of telephones created a symphony of human connection, a testament to the enduring need to communicate, to share, and to overcome the isolation of distance. As the telephone network expanded, so too did the possibilities for communication. Long-distance calls, once a costly and logistically challenging endeavor, became increasingly commonplace, allowing families to stay connected across continents and businesses to expand their operations into new markets. The sound of a loved one's voice, once a rare treat reserved for special occasions, became a source of comfort, support, and connection in a world that was changing at an unprecedented pace. The telephone network became a powerful symbol of human ingenuity and collaboration. It was a testament to the ability of individuals to work together, to overcome technical challenges, and to create something truly transformative. The telephone network was more than just wires and cables. It was a testament to the interconnectedness of the human experience, a reminder that even in a world increasingly defined by technology, the human need to connect remained paramount. The telephone's impact on society extended far beyond the realm of technology. It fostered social change, challenged traditional notions of privacy and etiquette, and created new opportunities for both connection and isolation. The shrinking world, brought closer by the telephone's reach, was a world of both exhilarating possibilities and unforeseen consequences. The telephone empowered individuals, particularly women and those living in rural communities who had traditionally been marginalized and isolated. For women, the telephone provided a lifeline to the outside world, a means of maintaining social connections, and a tool for managing household affairs and even conducting business from the home. For those living in remote areas, the telephone broke down the barriers of isolation, connecting them to markets, news, and social services. The telephone also challenged traditional social norms. Conversations once confined to face-to-face interactions could now take place over great distances, blurring the lines between public and private spheres. The etiquette of telephone conversations, from proper greetings to appropriate topics of discussion, became a subject of debate as society grappled with the implications of this new form of communication. The telephone's impact on courtship and romance was particularly significant. No longer bound by the constraints of chaperoned visits and handwritten letters, young couples could converse more freely, their voices carrying whispered secrets and declarations of affection across the miles. The telephone became a conduit for both budding romances and long-distance relationships, its ring a source of both anticipation and anxiety. The telephone, for all its transformative power, also cast a shadow of unintended consequences. The very technology that promised to connect people also had the potential to isolate, to amplify societal divisions, and to create new avenues for misinformation and control. The telephone, while bridging geographical distances, could also exacerbate social divisions. Access to telephones and telephone service was not evenly distributed, with wealthier communities often enjoying better service and more extensive networks. This digital divide had the potential to reinforce existing inequalities, limiting access to information, opportunities, and social mobility for those without the means to connect. The telephone also created new opportunities for surveillance and control. Governments and corporations quickly recognized the telephone's potential for monitoring conversations, gathering intelligence, and shaping public opinion. The specter of eavesdropping and the erosion of privacy became a growing concern, sparking debates about the balance between security and civil liberties in the age of telephony. The telephone, while facilitating the spread of information, could also be used to disseminate misinformation and propaganda. Rumors, gossip, and malicious falsehoods could spread like wildfire through telephone networks, their speed and reach amplified by the absence of fact-checking mechanisms or the ability to verify sources effectively. The telephone, a tool intended to connect and inform, could also be used to deceive and manipulate. As the 20th century unfolded, the telephone, once a revolutionary invention, became an integral part of the technological landscape, its influence extending far beyond the realm of communication. The telephone's underlying principles, the transmission of sound and data through electrical signals, laid the foundation for a wave of innovations that would transform the world, ushering in the digital age and forever altering the way we live, work, and interact. The telephone's impact on the development of the computer is particularly noteworthy. The switching systems used in telephone exchanges, with their ability to route calls and manage complex networks, provided inspiration for early computer scientists working on developing the first electronic computers. The telephone network itself, with its vast infrastructure of wires, cables, and switching centers, would eventually evolve into the backbone for the internet, the ultimate expression of global connectivity. The telephone's influence can be seen in the development of radio, television, and ultimately the mobile phone, each innovation building upon the foundation laid by Bell's invention. The mobile phone, in many ways, represents the culmination of the telephone's journey, freeing communication from the constraints of physical wires and placing the power of instant global connectivity in the palm of our hands. The telephone, while forever etched in history as a transformative invention, also serves as a powerful reminder that innovation is an ongoing process, a relay race where each generation builds upon the achievements of those who came before, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and shaping the future of human communication. The seeds of that digital future, sown in the fertile ground of Alexander Graham Bell's workshop, continue to blossom, their branches reaching towards a future yet to be imagined. The invention of the telephone was akin to dropping a pebble into the still waters of human interaction, its ripples spreading far beyond the immediate point of impact, transforming business, relationships, and shrinking distances. The telephone offered immediacy, tone, and real-time dialogue. It fostered interconnectedness, making the world more accessible. Yet, it also amplified societal divisions and spread misinformation. The challenge remains to use this powerful tool responsibly. The telephone revolutionized commerce, streamlining operations and expanding markets. Businesses embraced its immediacy, replacing handwritten correspondence and telegrams. Salespeople reached wider audiences and inventory management improved. Financial markets transformed with instant stock quotes and trading. The telephone democratized information, fueling global market growth. It enabled new industries like mail-order businesses and call centers. The telephone became the backbone of a globalizing economy. The true power of the telephone lay in the vast networks connecting voices across cities, states, nations, and continents. The telephone line transformed into a critical artery of communication, carrying news, ideas, and emotions. The world was drawing closer together, united by the invisible threads of the telephone network. The construction of this global network required massive investments and international collaboration. Telephone exchanges evolved into bustling hubs, with skilled operators deftly connecting calls. The hum of voices and the ringing of telephones created a symphony of human connection. As the telephone network expanded, so did the possibilities for communication. Long-distance calls became increasingly commonplace, connecting families and businesses across continents. The sound of a loved one's voice became a source of comfort and connection. The telephone network became a powerful symbol of human ingenuity and collaboration. It stood as a testament to the ability of people from diverse backgrounds to work together and create something transformative. The telephone network was a testament to the interconnectedness of the human experience, transcending political boundaries and cultural differences. The telephone's arrival coincided with significant geopolitical change. Nations, once isolated, were becoming interconnected through trade and diplomacy. The telephone promised to reshape international relations, offering new avenues for dialogue and negotiation. Traditional tools of diplomacy were slow and prone to misinterpretation. The telephone allowed for immediate clarifications and building trust through spoken word. It humanized diplomacy, fostering deeper understanding between nations. The telephone's impact on crisis management was significant. Misunderstandings could quickly spiral into conflict. The telephone offered a means to de-escalate crises and seek diplomatic solutions. It provided a lifeline for peace, carrying the hope of averting conflict through dialogue. The telephone's impact on diplomacy was not without challenges. Lack of face-to-face interaction could hinder building personal relationships and trust. Misinterpretations due to language barriers or cultural differences remained a concern. ease of communication could lead to impulsive decisions and heightened tensions. Nevertheless, the telephone ushered in a new era of diplomacy, promoting dialogue and understanding. The telephone's impact on society extended far beyond its ability to connect businesses and governments. It became a powerful tool for social change, amplifying marginalized voices, mobilizing communities, and challenging established power structures. The telephone democratized access to information, empowering individuals to organize, advocate for their rights, and challenge injustice. For women, it was a lifeline to the outside world, a tool for political activism and social reform. The telephone allowed women to organize boycotts, rallies, and letter-writing campaigns. It became a symbol of female empowerment, allowing women to participate more fully in public life. For marginalized communities, the telephone was vital for organizing, sharing information, and advocating for their rights. Activists leveraged the telephone to mobilize supporters, coordinate actions, and spread awareness. The telephone provided a platform for dissent and demanding social justice. The telephone's impact on social change was not without its risks. Governments often sought to monitor and control its use. Telephone lines were tapped, conversations recorded, and activists faced harassment. Nevertheless, the telephone empowered individuals, amplified marginalized voices, and facilitated collective action for justice and equality. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell's call to Thomas Watson marked a turning point in history, ushering in an era of unprecedented connectivity. Today we carry powerful devices transmitting voices, images, and data at the speed of light. Yet the essence of Bell's invention remains unchanged, the human voice bridging distances and connecting hearts. As we embrace new technologies, we reflect on the enduring legacy of that first phone call. The human voice amplified by technology will continue to shape our world. The true genius of Bell's invention lay in its ability to amplify the most fundamental human need, the need to connect. The telephone transcended the limitations of the written word, offering immediacy, intimacy, and emotional depth. It allowed voices to travel where bodies could not, shrinking the world and bringing people closer together. The telephone broke down barriers, its wires becoming lifelines, carrying not just words but emotions and dreams. These small moments of connection, made possible by the telephone, enriched our relationships and reminded us that we are not alone. The invention of the telephone brought unintended consequences. It connected us but also spread misinformation and eroded privacy. The telephone could divide, isolate, and manipulate. Access was uneven, amplifying societal divisions. Wealthier communities enjoyed better service. This digital divide mirrored existing inequalities. The telephone created new avenues for surveillance. Governments and corporations exploited its capabilities. Conversations were recorded, raising privacy concerns. The technology eroded privacy and limited freedoms. It also spread misinformation and propaganda. Rumors and falsehoods traveled quickly through networks. The telephone could deceive, manipulate, and sow discord. Technology is a double-edged sword. We must use these powerful tools responsibly. The invention of the telephone wasn't merely a technological disruption, it was a social and cultural earthquake, reshaping social norms, business practices, and even the structure of our cities. The art of conversation had to adapt to the disembodied voice, creating new rules of engagement. The telephone blurred the line between public and private, challenging traditional notions of privacy. Offices transformed, buzzing with ringing phones and constant conversations, flattening organizational structures. Telephone poles and wires became ubiquitous, connecting homes, businesses, and communities. The telephone exchange symbolized progress, shrinking the world and bringing people closer together. Humanity adapted, rethinking old ways and embracing new possibilities, reshaping our world. The invention of the telephone sparked a technological revolution, fueling innovations that shaped the 20th century and paved the way for the digital age. The telephone evolved into a platform for transmitting sound and data, laying the groundwork for computers, the internet, and mobile communication. The telephone's impact on the development of the computer is noteworthy. Switching systems inspired early computer scientists. The telephone network evolved into the backbone for the internet, the ultimate expression of global connectivity. The mobile phone represents the culmination of the telephone's journey, freeing communication from physical wires and enabling global connectivity. The seeds of our digital future were sown in Bell's workshop. Their branches reach towards a future yet to be imagined. The story of the telephone is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Alexander Graham Bell envisioned a world where the human voice could transcend distance. His journey, filled with challenges and triumphs, inspires aspiring inventors. Innovation is a messy, iterative process. Bell and Watson's perseverance highlights the power of collaboration. Their combined talents brought Bell's vision to life. The telephone's legacy extends beyond technology, shaping our choices and values. As we stand at the cusp of a new era, an era defined by artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and the ever-expanding reach of the digital realm, the legacy of that first phone call takes on a new urgency. The tools of communication have evolved beyond Bell's wildest dreams, yet the fundamental human need to connect remains unchanged. The question we face now is not how to communicate, but what we will say. Will we use these powerful technologies to bridge divides, to foster understanding, to build a more just and equitable world? Or will we allow them to amplify our differences, to spread misinformation, to erode the very foundations of trust and civil discourse? The choice is ours. The telephone's story is a reminder that technology is a double-edged sword. It can be a powerful force for good, connecting people, spreading knowledge, and empowering individuals. But it can also be used to manipulate, control, and sow discord. The responsibility for harnessing its power for the betterment of humanity rests squarely on our shoulders. The next chapter in the story of human communication is being written right now. It's a story that will be shaped by the choices we make, the values we embrace, and the words we choose to share. So the next time you pick up your phone, take a moment to reflect on the legacy of that first phone call. Ask yourself, what will you say? What kind of world will you help to create? The human voice, that primal instrument of communication, has been amplified and transformed by technology in ways that Alexander Graham Bell could never have imagined. From the crackling static of those first telephone calls to the crystal-clear audio of today's digital networks, the voice has been a constant presence, shaping our world, connecting us across distances, and reflecting the ever-evolving tapestry of human experience. As we venture further into the digital age, the future of the voice seems boundless. Artificial intelligence is giving machines the ability to understand and respond to our spoken commands, blurring the lines between human and machine interaction. Virtual reality and augmented reality are creating immersive experiences where our voices can transport us to distant lands, interact with historical figures, or collaborate with colleagues in virtual workspaces. Yet, amidst this technological whirlwind, the human voice retains its power to move, to inspire, and to connect. It's the voice that conveys our emotions, our stories, our shared humanity. It's the voice that whispers words of love, comforts in times of grief, and challenges injustice. It's the voice that will continue to shape our world, long after the devices we use today have become relics of the past. The future of the voice is not merely about technological advancements, it's about the choices we make, the stories we tell, and the connections we forge. It's about using our voices to build bridges, to inspire hope, and to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to be heard. The 22nd call that changed the world was just the beginning. The future of the voice, like the future of humanity itself, remains to be written.